one of the basic things in Judaism is Hakarat HaTov, right? But we cannot do Hakarat HaTov without first doing Hakarat Hara. What is Hakarat HaTov? Hakarat HaTov is to recognize, to meet, to introduce, to acknowledge the good. But we cannot do Hakarat HaTov without Hakarat Hara, without acknowledging the bad. So today, I am introducing myself, Yehudit. Nice to meet you, Tisha B'Av. Before we can see the light, we must go through the darkness. It says in Eicha Yashva Badad. How are we sitting? How is she sitting so lonely? Who is sitting so lonely? Each one of us. How am I so lonely? How am I sitting here asking to get married? And when I do get married, why am I so lonely without children? And when I have children, I still feel lonely. And when I'm married, I am still lonely. Why, no matter what, we are always crying from loneliness? And the Midrash is telling us because Eicha Yashva Badad. What is Badad in Hebrew? Badad is a lonely leaf on top of a tree. This is Badad. Each one of us is sitting crying because we don't have a home. And Beit Mikdash. And once we don't have a home, what's a home? We don't have a house. We don't have a roof on top of our head. We don't have food. We're homeless. No, we're not. The home that we are talking about is the nourishment, the companionship, the love, the positivity, the companionship with another person. We feel so lonely. We can be single and lonely. We can be married and lonely. We can have kids and be lonely, and we can be barren and lonely. We are always lonely. And why are we so lonely all the time? Because the Shekhinah is lonely. The Midrash comes and tells us a small story about a man who was working his cow in the ground. And all of a sudden, they see smoke, a lot of smoke. And the cow does not want to get to work. She wants to sit. She sits down. She doesn't want to get up. So he tries to pick her up to work, and she doesn't want to get up. So an Arab guy comes to this man and says to him, "Do you know why your cow doesn't want to work?" And he says, "No, I don't." He's like, "You see this smoke over there?" So he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "That is the smoke of Beis HaMikdash. Beit HaMikdash right now is being flamed with fire, is being set on fire." As soon as the man heard that, of course, he sat down and started crying and sobbing. As soon as he cries and sobs, the cow gets up and starts working by herself. So he goes and he looks at this Arab guy and he goes to him, what's this? Like, what's she doing? He's like, at this very moment, Mashiach was born. His name is Menachem ben Chizkiah. He says, what? Mashiach was born on Tisha B'Av now? As the flame go on Beit HaMikdash? He's like, yes. And he starts running. He's like, Allah, what? Where are you going? The cow? Me? What? Like, what am I going to do with the cow? He's like, I'm done with the job. Take the cow, do whatever you want. I'm going to sell diapers. He wants to sell diapers because he wants to find out which woman gave birth on Tisha B'Av and what's the name of the boy. And he starts, selling diapers, and ladies are coming, and he asks them, when did you give birth? Mazel tov. When you give birth, what did you name your son? Nice. What's your name? What you give your birth? When you got it son? Nice. All of a sudden, he sees this woman, angry, mad, frustrated, holding a dirty, naked child, doesn't want to talk to the child is screaming and crying, and has feces and urine all over him, like, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give this woman, she probably doesn't have money to buy diapers. I'm just gonna give her. And Nebuch, the child, is screaming like, what's going on? So he goes to her and he's like, excuse me, ma'am, hi, do you need diapers? And she goes, no, I'm fine. And the child screams, and she's like, don't have any mercy for this child. I do not want to care for this child. I don't want to nurse this child. This child does not deserve any love. And let him pee and do number 2 on himself, because he doesn't deserve anything. He has a bad luck. Bad luck. You know what bad luck is? This child, my child, has bad luck. So he goes to her, why does he have a bad luck? Because he was born the second that Beit HaMikdash was set on fire. He goes to her, what's his name? And she says, Menachem ben Chizkiah. The Midrash is saying, the children at the time of Beit HaMikdash, the children are going to be sad, bitter, us, always lonely, no matter what, naked, malnourished, missing love and companionship, crying and saying, Ma, I've done everything. Tell me, what else do I need to do to get married? Tell me. Ma, I got married. I'm trying to have children. I've gone through so much. I've gone through all the infertility treatments. I'm tired. What can I do? Ma, I have children. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to discipline them. I don't know what school to send them. Ma, I'm dating this guy. I don't, tell me, guide me, give me, nourish me. Ma, I don't have shalom bayit. Ma, I'm married, but I feel so lonely in this marriage. Ma. And Mom just sits there and cries. And she says, my dear daughter, there is no better sorrow for a mom to see her child begging and asking for help, and she cannot give it. You are an older person, you are an adult, I can no longer nurse you. As it says, Davak chiko shel yonek el imo batzama. Just like at the time of Mashiach, it says that a baby, a nursing baby, is going to cry over the shoulder of his mother for some milk, for a little bit of some guidance. Give me some nourishment, some love, some companionship. Tell me what to do to fill up the void, the loneliness. But the mom cannot give any more than she already did. There is nothing she can do to ease off the loneliness, to ease off the void. And why is that? As we said before, because the children don't have a home, not a house. A house they have, they don't have a home. The Midrash continues and says that whenever a woman, a mother, finally acknowledge the hakarat hara, she sees and she accepts that this is until where I can go. This is until where I can give. This is as much as I can nourish. This is as much of companionship I can give you and the guidance I can give you. She sees the child suffers, but as soon as she understands and she lets go, she is makira dera. She sees the darkness and she does not see the light. Misham tzomeach hayeshua. This is the Menachem ben Chizkiah. That's when the child, that's when you and I, all of us, when we finally recognize the darkness, that the Shekhinah is not with us, then we receive such kochot, such strength, that mom looks from the side and she says, Where did my child get this strength from? How did they rise to such success? How did they rise to such happiness? The Midrash goes and explains that there is another story of two parents who are trying to have kids for 20 years and cannot have a child. After 20 years, they finally conceive, they have a child. But on the day of delivery, the doctor comes over to the couple and say, I'm sorry to be the one to deliver the bad news. What, we're going to lose the child? Not necessarily. Unfortunately, some sort of complication came up, and we're going to have to either save the child's, we're going to have to either keep the mom or keep the child. Right away, both said, the child. And then the father said, no, I'm going to keep the wife. I'm going to keep the wife. I love her, and she probably can bring me more kids. And then she looked at him and she looked at the doctor, and she said, I waited for this child for a very long time. I do not know if I'll be able to bring another child. I would like to sacrifice my life for my child. Please save my child. The husband freaks out and he says, what? No way, I'm not losing you after all these years, after all these hardships. And she said to him, promise me that when my child is born, you're going to tell him how much I love him. You're going to tell him how I sacrificed my life for him. Tell him how much I wanted to be in his life. And for his life, I gave up on mine. The father agrees, and they sign off on saving the child. The child grows up, and the father every day does as he promised to his wife. Your mom was a beautiful person, inside and outside, who loved you, who cared for you, who went through physical, emotional, medical, psychological pain to have you. 20 years of infertility treatments. And finally she had you, but she had to give up her life for you. And he goes every single day until the child becomes bar mitzvah. He says, my dear child, today is the day you're going to say Kaddish for your mom. And the child looks at the father and he says, wait a second, Abba, wait a second. Let's put things in the right perspective here, okay? And the father says, yeah. He's like, look, I understand that there was this woman who you married, and you guys went through like a lot of like connection and hardships and stuff, and like I get it why you were so like attached to this woman. I get it. I am appreciative. She happens to be my mom. I'm really appreciative that she gave birth to me. Like I understand that she not only gave birth to me, she gave up her life for me. But can you stop telling me about her? And don't talk to me about Kaddish every year now, because this is not happening. The father heard that and like passed out. He gets up again. He hears the son, says it again, passes out again. This is the same. This is the mashal to us and the Beit HaMikdash. Beit HaMikdash was nichrab, was destroyed, and we don't understand the concept of the mother who gave birth to us. We know that there was once Beit HaMikdash. כל דור שלא נבנה בית המקדש בימיו כאילו נחרב בימיו. Every generation that Beit HaMikdash is not built in their generation is like was destroyed in their generation, as if the mother just died just now. My dear sisters, you go to the hospital, any of us will now go to the hospital, have a talk with a father or a mother who חס ושלום לא עלינו לא על אף אחד עם ישראל. Talk to a Jewish, not Jewish, doesn't matter. Ask that parent who has a child suffering in the hospital, what are you wishing? What are you wishing for your child? רפואה שלמה, fast healing. let's say it's not so fast, and let's say it's not possible. What are you wishing? Alecha kelilatcha beni. I am wishing that your suffering will be upon me. Hashem, take the suffering of my child, my single daughter, who is trying to get married and cannot. My daughter who's trying to get pregnant and cannot. My daughter, my son who are suffering in a hospital, battling some sort of disease, sickness, and cannot. Please take it upon me. Bring it upon me. Take it from them. Every parent will say that to you. There is no parents who will say, okay, I'm okay with the child. Every parent will sacrifice themselves for that. So what are we asking for on those 3 weeks, especially 9 days, and especially on Tisha B'Av? What are we crying for? What are we crying for? We are crying for Hashem, and we say, what are we asking? We say, Hashem, you are a father. Every father cannot stand to see their child lonely, their child suffering. You anyways, I'm going to cry to you, and you're going to listen to me. You're going to take my pain away, because I am your daughter. I am your son. So we are praying to Hashem, and we say, Hashem, I am in pain. Please take my pain away. But not just take my pain away. Take my pain away for you, Hashem. Lemancha Elokim Chaim. For you, take my pain away. As it says, Shalom banaich, אל תקראי בנייך אלא בונייך. Your children are not just your children. Your children are going to be the ones who are going to build you. They're going to build you. We are going to be built from the goodness that we as children you're going to give us. Hashem, please open and please build my house. Please dwell in my home. You don't have a house. You don't have a house. But I want you to come and dwell in my home. Come, I would like to host you and have you dwell in my home. And with that, I would like to bless all of us to Be'ezrat Hashem be zocheh and have the merit to see Bet HaMikdash built in our days, and to no longer be lonely, to be nourished and loved with the companionship of Hashem dwelling within and among all of us.
Amen.
Thank you.